Hello folks and welcome to this week's Music Alerts. I'm recording this pretty early in the day. It's early morning, just had a shower, so I'm giving you my Ursula Andress emerging out of the ocean at the beginning of Dr. No scene, if you know your James Bond, but with possibly less hair. In this particular video we've got a vinyl special, so let's get on with it. First up, Rossi and Rickard. This is Status Quo's Francis Rossi and vocalist violinist Hannah Rickard. And this one isn't particularly new. It came out in 2019, at least initially, but it's the vinyl edition. That's the news here via Ear Music. Now, I've always had a kind of sneaking admiration for Quo. Never really bought any of their stuff. I'm not really a fan. I think I bought a 7-inch at one point many years ago. However, had a sneaking admiration for them. They always had a pointed melodicism. Whatever your thoughts on the arrangements, they knew how to write a song, and Rossi is at it again here. And Rossi and Rickard co-write this LP. This is supposed to be a country-flavoured rock album, so why don't they just call it country rock? I'm not quite sure. Everybody calls it country flavoured with rock elements. Country rock, I would say. Anyway, although I hear folk in here as well, there's some straight singer-songwriter material, and there's the trusted Quo rocking rhythms and timings to please the fans. I quite like this one. It's a toe tapper. Next, we're looking at the label 4AD, and an apology because I'm a bit late in covering their record store day releases, but better late than never, hey. First up is the one and only, the legendary Gene Clark and No Other Sessions. This is a 50th anniversary celebration of the original No Other album, stripped to the bare bones via these sessions and taken directly from the master tapes, mixed by the one and only Sid Griffin, another one and only. There's quite a few of them around, isn't there? And John Wood, who I guess is also a one and only. Fans will love the detail here, as some tracks appear more than once, but you get different versions. Version 1 of this track, version 4 of the same track, and so on. Next is, how would you describe them? Art pop outfit, possibly? Spoon-fed hybrid, featuring ex-members of the Pale Saints and AC Temple, and a reissue of their 1993 self-titled release, complete with a second disc detailing demos and outtakes. And I quickly interject, this is again a record store day release. So there is a dream pop aesthetic here, and it retains a sense of clarity. Some dream pop can be a little excessive in its shoegaze aspirations, you might say, so you get lots of guitar washes, but this particular album retains its clarity, I would say. The original release initially appeared on the 4AD spin-off imprint Guernica, and it's well worth a listen, as the original sort of fell down the cracks a little bit. It's well worth rediscovering. Finally, and our third record store day release from 4AD, and the lovely and wholly terrific Kristen Hirsch, she of Throwing Muses, of course, and the largely acoustic and rather personal LP, I would say, Hips and Makers. Another anniversary, this one the 30th in this case, so that means the original 1994 release is included here, and you also get a second disc here too. So you get the original 1994 release, as you might expect, but you also get a second disc, and that features B-sides and string versions of the originals. The production on this was rather immediate, because apparently it only took 2 weeks to create. Onto Jazz and onto Craft, and Hampton Hawes, Harold Land, Scott LaFaro plus Frank Butler with For Real, partly penned by Hawes plus covers of standards. Scott LaFaro's inclusion is a highlight here, because the man sadly died back in 1961 at a very young age in a car accident, so his contributions are sadly few and far between, and they're worth hearing because he had this sort of counter-melodic upright bass technique. It was pretty innovative at the time. Also from Kraft is Kenny Burrell and John Coltrane, with Tommy Flanagan, Paul Chambers and Jimmy Cobb, originally on the New Jazz label, now reissued on Jazz Classics with a pseudo Obi strip-like add-on. All the way from 1958, this reissue arrives via the original master tapes, mixing Flanagan and Burrell originals with American songbook classics. Burrell stars with an inspirational guitar on this particular LP, while Coltrane, well, he's nothing like that. He's rather contrasting in his presentation, but it kind of works when you blend the two together. The entire LP is a fascinating release. Onto the beat now, and Wappen, as in what's happening or what happened, something like that. From 1981, I know that much, this is another Record Store Day release, this time from Rhino. This one includes 2 discs, new RSD releases. You've got to have 2 discs. That seems to be the theme this year. The second, well, obviously the first disc is the original album. I think you would assume that, wouldn't you? But the second disc features singles and remixes, while the discs themselves have been pressed on yellow and green vinyl. The band were evolving by the time of this release, which may have disappointed some of their long-term fans, but pleased many who cared about the group's development. The lyrics are just as cutting, just as powerful, examining themes of violence, the jingoistic nationalism of the day, the lack of opportunities in 80s Britain, and all that stuff. But in terms of the melodies and the music, we're hearing a little bit more funk, more Afrobeat, that kind of thing. It's interesting stuff. Next is photographer and musician Wolfgang Tillmans, Build From Here on the Fragile label. Think avant electronica with stripped proto-Julian Cope vocals, maybe, combined with pop rhythms that verge on the Pet Shop Boys. It's quite a mixture, hey, depending on the man's mood, of course, and because of that mood, there's other flavours. It kind of is, each track is a bit of a what will we do today kind of thing. And like I say, it's a mood thing. So there's other flavors in here. For example, the track Grünlinien, probably pronounced that incorrectly, which does sound like 80s cold wave. So a bit of a lucky bag of styles. Next up, we have Steve Baskin and the 14s and the album Love Is Hard on Vanilla's Songs. This one offers blues rock with an art pop rapper and soul foundations. A right old mixture then, but there's more to this than these core genres. There's a little bit of foo-foo to all of this, so sounds a little bit Tom Petty-ish kind of thing. There's a twist that draws the attention, that's what I'm trying to say. More straight ahead rock now from 6x6 and Beyond the Shadowland from Inside Out. This is the Sony imprint. Described as a progressive power trio, the band is a bit of a supergroup, I suppose, including Robert Berry from the band 3, and for those in the know, for those who like the ELP, 3 was Berry plus Keith Emerson and Carl Palmer. Bit of a short-lived outfit. He also appeared in Hush. Ian Creisen, is that how you pronounce his name? I think it's Ian Creisen, is ex-Saga, and Nigel Glocker will be known to fans of Saxon. And the same genre goes for Trifecta's new release on Kscope. The New Normal is a double album from Nick Beggs, Adam Holman and Craig Blundell. And a very quick tangent, do you remember back in the pandemic times when everybody was talking about that situation being the new normal? Well, so much for that, hey? We're back to square one as far as I can see. But back to this LP. Now, I love, I don't know who's thought up the song titles for this album, but he's done a good job. So you get On the Spectrum, you get Ouch, My OCD, you get Backstabber, as in back, B-A-C-H, Backstabber, Ornamental Lettuce, which is an amazing title for a track. Just Feel It, Karen. I really feel that should have had an exclamation mark at the end. Just Feel It, Karen. It should have had one of those, but Just Feel It, Karen, and Stroboscopic Fennel. Wonderful stuff. Now I expected, I don't know, what did I expect? Prog metal, possibly? But no, I got more ballads, I got a bit of salsa, and I got lots of jazz fusion instead. Now, I like my prog. If you know me, you will know I like my prog, but this approach was just as welcome and just as interesting. And thanks very much for staying to the end of this video, because that is your lot. Down below, I'll put some links to releases that need linking, and further down there will be my links. For example, the Facebook group I run, which you're welcome to join. There's a link for that down there. My website, there's all kinds of other music reviews and music features, interviews. It's all over there. There's a link down there, and Patreon as well. I also have music features on Patreon. Again, another link. I do exclusive videos and how-to guides, some hi-fi stuff. So have a little peruse, why don't you? I'll be back, same place, same time, once more, to entertain you with CDs and vinyl and even the odd book. Love to have your company, and hope to see you soon. Bye-bye for now.